Today we're going to be starting a Let's Play with Gilgamesh. We're on Deity difficulty, playing on a Pangea map, even though the game's on Deity. I'm going to be taking my time and explaining the thought process behind the decisions I make, so hopefully new players can watch along and learn things as we go. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then stick around.
If you want to get good at Civ 6, subscribe and click the bell to keep up with the channel.
Alright, so we already mentioned we're playing with Gilgamesh. In case you don't know, they have the adventures of Enkidu, I guess. When at war with the common foe, they and their allies share privilege, rewards, and share combat experience gains if within 5 tiles. Their alliances gain alliance points for being at war with common foe. This might sound okay, but realistically, it's not that great, to be completely honest, just because it doesn't happen very often, so it's a lot less useful of an ability. I mean, in multiplayer it might be great, but when you're playing single player, very rarely are you going joint wars with other nations, and if you do go joint wars, I mean, chances are you're not both right there attacking the same city. You're usually attacking from different positions because your empire is laying in different positions on the map. Anywho, moving on here, Epic Quest is actually pretty handy for the early game. When you capture a barbarian outpost, you receive a tribal village reward. Pay half the usual cost to levy city-state units. So this is really nice in the early game, gives you that little bit of a boost. Every time you clear a barb camp, you're going to get a little treat. And they do have the war cart and the ziggurat, which are early game units and improvements, but we'll get into that once we get in the game here. Enough talk, so let's just jump in. Alright, so it's definitely looking like a nice start for us. I think what we're going to do is plan to head down here and drop our city on turn 2. We have some nice mountain ranges here, so I think the best option would be to plan to put our campus here for now, and then we'll plan to also put our commercial hub across the river. In case you don't know, commercial hubs get +2 adjacency bonus for being next to rivers, so this district triangle here, this actually commercial hub will end up being a +3 commercial hub because it'll get an extra 1 adjacency for the 2 districts as well as the river, and then our campus here should actually turn into a +3 as well, +3 because we're going to be settling on the jungle, so we'll be getting rid of that. Unfortunately, we just get the 2 adjacency bonus here from our mountains, and then eventually we'll get the extra 1 from being next to 2 districts once we get the city and the commercial hub down there. I think that's a pretty good idea for now. Now, we do have a potential here for the Temple of Artemis. In case you don't know, you have to build the Temple of Artemis. Is obviously a wonder, that goes without saying, but you have to build it next to a camp tile. And then basically what it does is it gives you +1 amenity for every camp, plantation, or pasture, if there's like horses or shit around or sheep or whatever. For every one of those camps, pastures, or plantations, you get an extra amenity in the city, so it's definitely nice to keep your population happy, and it's a great wonder to grab early. Even on DD mode, it's usually available if you make your way towards it fairly quickly. So the only thing is we are going for science here though, so I don't know if going for an early wonder is going to be in the cards for us. However, depending on, we'll do a bit of scouting here and see what we can see. Depending on the terrain, if there's some nice tiles that we can fit 2 or 3 cities in ideally and get their theater squares planted around the wonder, then that definitely will be something that we're going to pursue. So enough rambling, let's get this going here. We got the settler headed over to get this city going. Let's keep exploring. Let's go north with the warrior here. Alright, so drop in our city. We can get rid of the map tack there. Now, so far so good. I mean, considering the river continues down this way and then there's another river over here, if we were to drop Temple of Artemis right here, where is it? Right there. So if we plan for our Temple of Artemis there, we'd be able to fit in up to 3 theater squares from other cities if we can fit them around here. Oops. So actually this is looking like it might be worth it. But again, we'll explore a little bit more before we rush to any snap decisions. Regardless, either way, whether we do go for It's either way, whether we do go for the wonder or not, we are going to head towards animal husbandry first because I want to get this ivory unlocked. It's nice and easy to get, not to mention we have another furs over here to get online, and we can sell these off to the competition essentially as soon as we meet some enemy civilizations here. Now, what I'm going to do as far as starting off our build order, I'm actually going to go into warriors here. Now, we do already have access to our unique unit, the war cart, which is sure, it's nice, it's free era score, but essentially what I'm going to be doing is purposely planning to not get a golden age in the ancient era. Now, I know that seems kind of counterproductive, but if you hear me out, the planning or the idea behind it being is that if we get a golden age in the classical era, unless we find some incredible source of faith, so if we get lucky and find a relic, which is possible because we do get free goody hut bonuses every time we clear a barbarian camp, so you never know, but unless we get some way to generate faith, we're not going to have anything useful really to do with our golden age, because for the monumentality, you essentially need faith to buy builders or settlers, otherwise it's completely useless. The first dedication, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it only gives you 10% science, but then it turns the gold adjacency bonus from your commercial hubs into science, which is good, don't get me wrong, but unless you already have your campuses and your commercial hubs set up, it's really wasted. I mean, sure, you might get the commercial hubs at the end of the district, or at the end of the era, but you're not going to be able to take advantage of it for your entire era. So essentially, you're just throwing this golden age away. It's the same thing with the one that gives culture, because you don't have theater squares up in all your districts by that point. It's too early unless you have faith to make that classical era golden age worthwhile. So with that being said, now we're in a unique position playing as Samaria because we have access to our early game unit, the war cart, so that's a free 4 air score right there, but also our tile improvement, the ziggurat, or however you pronounce it, I'm pretty sure that's it. Anyways, that's another 4 air score, and it's available immediately. Like as soon as I build a builder, I can build one if I wanted to. So we're going to save those for the classical era, which that extra essentially free 8 era score is going to help to easily propel us into a golden age for the medieval era, and by that time hopefully we either generated some sort of we've come up with some sort of way to generate our faith for us, which would be super nice. But worst case scenario, if we don't end up getting any faith, we can always fall back on the science dedication, which by that point in the game we'll have had plenty of time to get our commercial hubs established, so we will definitely be able to at least enjoy the fruits of our labor in getting our golden age there. Anyways, so what I am going to do though is head into warriors. I've been doing this a lot more lately, and I'm almost starting to favor it, going for warriors first rather than a scout. Now, this is because since the June patch, the barbarians are a lot more active in the early game, so I actually have been enjoying having 2 barbarians out. Like, I'm actually going to go for another barbarian next, so that we essentially are getting like 2 scouts, just our scouts are able to actually destroy barbarian camps, which is such a good, for one, it saves you them from going crazy on you, and then also it allows you to get the era score once you kill them, which is especially important when you're playing as Samaria here, because every time we kill one of those barbarian camps, we get a goody hut reward. Anywho, let's keep going here. So we're going straight towards animal husbandry, like we already talked about, so we can get this ivory on. Now, I am thinking that we are going to go towards the Temple of Artemis, but again, once we get this warrior out, we'll take a look around here and make sure that we have some decent spots to get the 2nd or 3rd city in. Okay, so we're just going to keep headed up north here with our barbarian. It looks like we've discovered a 2nd continent here. Now, you can either press 2 on your keyboard to bring up the continent lens, or just come do it manually. I usually try to do this stuff with the keyboards, but as you can see here, that's where the 2nd continent is. So if we do end up setting a city up here, we can get some bonus era score as well for being our first city on that continent. But in the meantime, we're just going to head towards our goody hut there and hop across the river. So we got one new population, which is nice. That'll go a long way towards helping us increase our production here. And we definitely already have the nice tiles for them to work. The 6 yield tile here with the ivory, which is only going to get better in the long run. And then we also have the 2-2 over here. So we're definitely putting the extra population to good work. So let's keep taking a look around with this warrior here. Alright, so, Barbarian Camp over here somewhere. So there's definitely a nice spot for a campus up here between the mountains and the geothermal fissure. And as of the latest patch, you can actually settle on geothermal fissures now, and they don't disappear like they did when Gathering Storm first came out. So that is definitely a possibility. As we explore over here, we'll take a closer look. Now, I know the Barbarian Camp just spawned over here a little bit, but I want to explore up further just because I'm ideally looking for a perfect second city, and if we can find some good terrain in here, it might definitely be worth it to kind of beeline up here and take advantage of it. Right, so it looks like we got the first meeting on a military city-state, which is nice because that's going to give us that +2 production in the city or in the capital, every time we're working on a unit, which especially in the early game goes a long way. As we already talked about, we're going to go ahead and get another warrior over here. Now with this warrior, we're going to head straight down so we can kind of see if there is a nice location to build a city in here, which there definitely looks to be. So it's just a matter of finding the right one, which we'll definitely be able to do. I'm almost wondering if we could fit 3 cities in here. Or 4, like 1 over here, 1 down here, and then 1 to the east. That would be nice. And I think we will go ahead and build the Temple of Artemis anyway, because I'm just looking at it now. We found another ivory down here, which is a camp. So if we do build the Artemis here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra amenities it'll have in a city. Now that's not a legendary Artemis by any means, but it is definitely worthwhile. Not to mention, it is looking like there will be suitable locations around here where we'll be able to fit at least 3 theater squares around the wonders, which will definitely go a long way towards helping our culture game. Okay, so it looks like there's a city-state over here. Let's quickly pop over and meet them. It's a religious city-state, which will be super nice. If we end up getting the first meet on them, that's going to be great, because then we don't have to go ahead and take God King for our first policy card. We can switch into urban planning right away, which is the superior card, because the only reason you take God King is to get your Pantheon. But if this happens to be a first meet, that would be really nice for us, and we could skip God King altogether. I still don't know how we met this city-state. Like, really, one of their warriors must have, like, just crossed onto our territory and then fucked right off or something. I don't know. So let's just keep heading to the east here with this warrior. Once this one finishes, we'll send him through the mountain pass and head towards the west. Alright, fingers crossed. And unfortunately, we weren't so lucky. Let's take a quick look here and see what their quest is. If it's something easy, we might still go ahead and skip God King, because if we can get an envoy... trigger an inspiration for military tradition. Right on. So that's really good news for us. Although we didn't get the first meet, we kind of struck out in that regard. We're going to head straight down here now to go clear that Barbarian Camp. Oh, in case you don't know, that's the... To trigger the inspiration bonus, here for military tradition, all you have to do is clear a Barbarian Camp. So that will be nice. It'll actually allow us to bypass God King like I talked about there. So that's definitely a nice little boost to us here. Now, we are going to go ahead and head towards archery. We need to go straight there. Most likely, I think what we're going to do is end up hard researching archery. Now it's nice if you can get the kill with the slinger. However, I don't want to waste the production. We already went 2 warriors. I'd much rather start looking at expanding as quickly as we can and work on a settler next. So speaking of that, I'm going to go ahead and queue up a settler next, because we'll definitely want to get at least 1 city up before we start building the Temple of Artemis, which is obviously going to take our capital's production up for quite some time. So we'll just keep exploring here. Looks like we got some horses and some stone, nothing to write home about by any means, but definitely I'm sure we can fit a nice city in. Let's take a look at the lens here. The settler lens, it shows you where all the fresh water and stuff is. You can just press 4 on your keyboard or do it manually. You know what, I want to see what's down here more, because we might be able to fit a city in on this side of the mountains down here. So what I'll do is actually I'll send our warrior down and around before he heads towards the east here. So we'll go down that way to take a better look. Meanwhile, we're just going to keep exploring, or to the west, I should say. Jesus. Anyways, we're going to keep going to the east with this one here. Okay, so there's a new Barbarian Camp, which is great. It's free air score for us, and even better, I'm pretty sure this is within 6 tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It sure is. So because it's within 6 tiles of a city of ours, that means when we clear this camp, we're going to get 3 air score instead of just 2 air score. Since we are going ahead and building that settler, I definitely want to keep scouting with this one. Let's at least take a look over here first. Alright, and there's a goodie hut. So, you know what? Let's see here. So I think we will go ahead and settle our city right here. We still do have access to fresh water, and unfortunately the city over here isn't going to be so good. I mean, once we do get up towards once we do get up in the tech tree towards being able to get lumber mills up, it will have some decent production, and there definitely is still some nice tiles for campuses and stuff like that. But by settling over here, it leaves us the flexibility to fit another city in here, and so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. So 1, 2, 3, 4 now. So 1, 2, 3. So I think we just go ahead and settle that right where the barbarian. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and settle that right where the Barbarian Camp is, actually. All right, so that's definitely a good start for us so far as our cities go down there. Taking a look up towards the north, though, there's some nice volcanic tiles that are going to be erupting around here once this volcano becomes active. Not to mention, this would be a great site later on for tons and tons of production if we could get the Ruhr Valley going on here. So I think what we will do is also settle here for a city. Now, I'm actually thinking what I will do is probably head up towards the north here first. I know it's a little bit further away from our capital. However, I think because these cities are so close, that it'll be easier to get them up and running for our 3rd and 4th cities. And since this one is a little bit further away and it is in such a nice spot, I mean, just look at all that production there, not to mention the possibility for science and whatnot here as well, that we'll definitely go ahead and head up towards that one first to grab it. Okay, so now that we have looked around enough, Alright, so meantime, we're just going to keep exploring with this warrior. In fact, let's just go ahead and put him on automated exploration. We finally got Code of Laws, so as we already talked about, we're going to go ahead and slot discipline in. I'd always suggest this for newer players especially, and there's absolutely no reason for us in this game to take survey. A lot of the times if I do go scouts, especially if I go double scout, I will put in survey first and try and get both the scouts upgraded before I switch into discipline to start clearing out barbarian camps, but we obviously don't have any reason whatsoever to use survey, so we're going with discipline. And as I was trying to say, if you are a newer player, I just always go with discipline. Always, 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 until you're more experienced at the game and are comfortable repelling barbarian attacks with little to no, well, with a small amount of units. Anywho, and we're going to go ahead and put urban planning in right away, since we are definitely going to be clearing a barbarian camp out, so we'll be getting the free envoy at Jerusalem, which that will give us the faith we need to get our envoy, or sorry, to get our pantheon going. In the meantime, now we already do have the boost towards foreign trade, considering we have such nice land in here and we want to take advantage of it as quickly as we can. I'm actually going to go ahead and start on craftsmanship. Now, this might seem counterintuitive, seeing as how we want to get towards early empire so we can get the colonization poly slot as quickly as we can. However, I want to actually get the government plaza up as quickly as we can, so that we'll be able to build the building in there, that the ancestral hall, I think it's called, as soon as we get to political philosophy. So also considering we are going to go for this Temple of Artemis, we're not really going to be producing settlers that soon, so it should work out fairly decently that after we finish the Temple of Artemis, we should have the colonization card, or at least be fairly close to getting it. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and slot in craftsmanship there. Now, I think we've seen enough here. Let's go down and quickly grab this goodie hut, just because we don't want anybody to steal it from us. But now that we've gone ahead and done that, let's head straight over here and start taking care of this barbarian camp. Now, I did just hear another barbarian camp, if I'm not crazy. Oh, maybe it was just when we discovered this one that we already kind of knew was over here. But anyway, we got our policy card slotted in, so it's perfect timing. Let's just start whapping away at them. Alright, so we finished our settler. We'll get them to head straight up north there. I'm definitely comfortable sending them up that way because our warrior is in the vicinity anyway, so if we did run into trouble, it's fairly close by. Now, what does give me a little bit of pause is that their scout is floating around here, and I don't want to have to chase them down, but I think because we have the narrow mountain ranges there, that will be okay, even if somehow it did get taken by their scout. If I wanted to completely avoid that, what I could do is actually just delay killing this barbarian camp, because in case you don't know, if the scout's barbarian camp hasn't been destroyed, it actually won't attack settlers or builders whatsoever. It's only after you clear out the camp that they go batshit crazy and attack anything. Alright, so we have our settler down and it's working out nice timing here. We're going to go ahead and start on a builder, which will finish just before we get archery, and then we'll be able to start on the Temple of Artemis as soon as we get our camp up online. So that's working out rather nice. Let's go ahead and finish grabbing this camp here. Now, I guess we got the boost. We got the Eureka for archery from the goodie hut, which didn't really help us that well. Apparently we met another city-state. Okay, so we met Cardiff over here. Now, I don't think we're the first to meet them. No, we aren't. But we have gotten our envoy in Jerusalem now, so as you can see, we're gaining faith per turn from having the envoy there, which will get us our pantheon. In the meantime, we're obviously going to take the promotion here with our warrior. Now, I always say, if I'm planning on being aggressive in a game, I always take Tortoise first, because I feel it helps your unit survive until you can get the upgrade, because I actually usually double upgrade my melee units. However, when I'm not planning on being aggressive, which I'm not in this game, we haven't even found another civilization yet, I always take Battle Cry just because it makes it easier to deal with the barbarians. Alright, so that kind of screws up our timing a little bit, as we still have to wait for the the builder to finish so we can get our camp here before we start the wonder. However, it's not a big deal, because free science is free science. In the end, it does still save us time, because now we can just start researching something else. So speaking of which, I think what we'll do is just go ahead and head into mining. I think this is because in the short term, it's going to help us more to have get some mines up, as we're not going to be building a campus anytime in the immediate future here. So we have time, I think, to quickly grab mining before going towards our writing to get our campus, especially considering we haven't met anybody yet. It gives us a little bit more time to actually meet somebody and help get the boost towards writing. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start killing these guys here. Well, speak of the devil, there we go. Here's Spain in the game, so we'll go ahead and meet them. Now, remember, we always want to send a delegation to them in order to stay friendly if you're not planning on attacking. Otherwise, it's just a waste of your 25 gold if you're planning on early aggression. So just keep that in mind. Now, they are a good ways off here. However, I'm sure, as always, they're going to be forward settling us, so that definitely gives us motivation that we want to get our cities up and running as quickly as we can and head over towards them, because there's all this nice land in here with rivers and whatnot, and they're just going to gobble it up and ruin it. Now, if that's the case, if they do end up freaking screwing us over, we'll definitely be heading for an early war here. And if that is the case, what we'll end up doing, it'll kind of work out well anyways. If they do start grabbing at this territory before we can get over there and settle it, we'll be getting the war carts in the next era to get that era score, and they're a cavalry unit anyway. A heavy cavalry unit specifically, so they upgrade into knights nicely, so we'll be able to get them out early, and in a perfect world, maybe even get them a bit of experience before upgrading them to knights. Meanwhile, let's just keep swinging over here. The warrior here is almost healed up. We'll let him finish healing before we send him on his merry way to explore. Let's kill the camp. Alright, so as we said, we got 3 era score for this one because it was nice and close to our cities within 6 tiles. Now that that's done, we'll let the wonder go ahead and heal up. I was just like, where the fuck did we get an envoy from? However, because we are playing Samaria, when we cleared the Barbarian Camp, we got a goodie hut bonus, and so that's where we got the free envoy from. Taking a look around here, perfect, there you go. So normally I would almost never want to send an envoy to Cardiff here, or at least I wouldn't be in a hurry to do so, because for science, we don't really need an industrial city-state. However, in this specific situation, it's going to give us an extra 2 production per turn when we're building the wonder here. So I'm going to go ahead and send the envoy over there right now. We'll confirm the placement. And I mean, 2 production isn't huge, but considering we're in the early game and they have a total production of plus 12, it does definitely add up. So here we'll take our promotion with this warrior and then heal them up the rest of the way before exploring. Now that this one is done, ooh, nice. You know what? There's 2 volcanoes here. Oh, that's gonna work out really well. You know what? I'm thinking I had been planning on going with the Pantheon that gives us a free settler, just because I think going for that land grab is early and we don't really have a whole lot of plantations or anything around to take advantage of the other culture Pantheon. So I think instead, though, I think what we're going to do is go ahead and take that Pantheon, the Fire God or whatever, where you get plus 2 faith from every volcanic tile, and as well as geothermal fissures, and hopefully these volcanoes will start spewing sometime soon, so that we can build some faith up for when we get our golden age in the medieval era. Now watch, I'm just gonna get trolled hard and these volcanoes will stay passive like almost all the game. Probably, but time will tell, I guess. We'll see. I mean, we still have a few more turns before we get our Pantheon anyway, so we'll take another look around here and keep exploring, and maybe we can find another volcano or 2 that'll help make us... Oh, that's actually 2 volcanoes there, and another... Okay, so that's 3 volcanoes we've already found. So yeah, maybe we will try it for something different. It would be a nice way to generate some faith. Alright, so anywho, now that our builder is done, next turn we'll get that camp online. In the meantime, let's just go ahead and put a turn into a monument. And we'll heal up one more turn with that warrior. Alright, so Spain doesn't look to be too pissy with us. They sent us a delegation. Now, they are still unhappy, or unfriendly with us. But if they're sending you delegations, it's generally a good thing, and it means that they'll probably go to neutral pretty soon here. Now, oh, nice, it's right by our warrior too, so we're gonna go ahead and take this guy off of automated exploration, and we'll head across the river and towards the Barbarian Camp to clear that out. Hopefully we can kill it before the warriors from either of the city-states intervene. Alright, so it's another city-state that we met. Again, I don't think we got the first meat bonus on it. Unfortunately not. Let's see, take a look at the quest here. So, trigger an inspiration from mysticism. Oh, that's actually good. So we'll be getting a free envoy in Zanzibar, because to trigger that inspiration, you'd have to build a wonder. Now, let's go ahead and start this camp here, and then we'll switch into the Temple of Artemis right away. So we can get rid of that pin there, which is nice. Now, we have 2 more turns on mining. So what I'm going to do is head over here. I know we will be planning to build a commercial hub there in the future. However, I think the early production bonus of having a grassland mine, which will be 2 food and 2 production, is definitely something that we can take advantage of, and it is more than worth 1 builder charge, in my opinion, until we go ahead and place that commercial hub sometime in the future there. Now, alright, so with this warrior, he's all healed up. Let's put him on automated exploration. Sweet, so the scout moved away, which means we can start smashing that one next turn. Let's just go ahead and put this warrior on automated exploration, and we bumped into Scythia, or not Scythia, Tomris. I always call her Scythia. I know that they're called Scythians, but for whatever reason, I always screw it up and mix the 2 up, and I call her Scythia. Yeah, I'm just that special sometimes. Alright, so we'll send her a delegation too, so she's not all pissy with us. Alright, so they're over to the west somehow, or somewhere, I should say. Which, considering we have these mountain ranges and whatnot in here, I mean, I'm sure we will probably try and grab another city or somewhere in here. Probably an aqueduct one, it's looking like, since there isn't any fresh water. However, that'll be a nice little buffer between us and the Scythians. There you go, I said it right. Okay, so we got mining done. So now that we have that taken care of, we want to head straight towards writing. And now our builder, he'll have to wait till next turn, I guess. Which is fine. So somebody finished the Great Bath and Stonehenge. Oh, we met another city-state. Oh, and she's friendly. So we're going to go ahead and declare friendship with her. We want to take advantage of that. Essentially, all that's doing is making sure that she can't sneak attack us for 30 turns. So, I mean, on DT, the AI is apt to sneak attack you if you're weak, and considering we are focusing on, grabbing a natural wonder, grabbing a world wonder, and we want to be expanding as quickly as we can. It basically just completely makes us safe to the east, unless there's more nations over there, but she's obviously the closest because that's who we found first. Alright, so we got that taken care of. Now, I do want to take a look at our era. How many turns are left? Okay, 14. Because what we're going to want to do is probably delay the Temple of Artemis, actually. Stop it from finishing so that we don't waste the era score, considering we've already secured a normal age. Now, it is kind of a little bit risky, and I might regret doing this, but I think that's what we will go ahead and do. I'm going to kick myself in the nuts if we ended up getting sniped because I wait a couple turns, but I think it's worth the risk in this case. We'll go ahead and found our city. which actually gives us a little bit of extra air score there itself. Now what we're going to do is start building a monument right away. I want to get our culture game going on as quickly as we can, not to mention it'll also help with our loyalty, considering we aren't going into a golden age, and most of the computers on DD do go into golden ages in the classical age. It'll the monument will help us offset the loyalty pressure, especially considering we did found the city, which is a little bit further away from our capital than we normally like. All right, so let's just start hitting this guy. You know what? I'm just thinking whether... No, I don't want to chance it. I was going to say, do I want to save this Barbarian Camp until the next era too, and save the air score that way? But no, we're just going to go ahead and smash it, because it's between the two city-states. They're likely to come over and grab it before then, and we wouldn't get any air score, not to mention us getting that extra bonus goodie hut from it. So we'll go ahead here and build a mine.
From the depths
Oh, nice.
of the sky.
Okay, so we found a natural wonder.
Come, swift spirits of might and of pleasure, fill the dance and the music of mirth.
That's actually pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen this wonder yet. So where is that? Somewhere up to the north? Or no, the south. Oh shit, 3 cultures? 3 tile natural wonder provides +3 culture and +1 production. That's not bad, actually. Not bad at all. Alright, so she sent us a delegation. Sure, we'll take our money back. Thank you. And we'll head over and build a camp here. Oh shit, I completely forgot. We had the camp up online, so we should be trading our ivory away. Let's go ahead and see what we can get for it. Now, she doesn't have a lot of money, so let's see if she'll do some gold per turn. 2, no. Okay, so she won't even do 139. What the fuck am I talking about? Alright, so she'll do 100. Let's see if she'll do 120. No. Alright, so 115 is her max, it looks like. Let's take a look and see if we can get some more from Spain here. Come on, Philly, you know you want it. And no, he's just a dick. He won't even give us that much. So we'll go ahead and grab the 115. Alright, now that that's done and out of the way, let's see, we're up to 375 now with that, so I think we can't afford another settler, because I think that's 440 to buy. Yeah, 440 for the next one. You know what, that's like what, 40, 65... you know what? That'll work out fairly well. I think that's what we'll do, is we'll just save our money and we'll actually buy a settler once we get up to 440. And yeah, so to try something different, I think I will actually go for the Pantheon for the volcanic soil and the geothermal fissures, just to see. I mean, if we're essentially in between 3 frickin' volcanoes. I mean, I know technically this one's not really that close to us, but still. Yeah, why not? Let's do something different, right? Okay, so we built the mine there. Let's head over and get this camp online. Hopefully, Philly will take the stick out of his ass and maybe give us a little bit something more than, or at least give us 100 gold for that one. Alright, so we got healed, I guess, from... I guess that was the goodie hut bonus. Which is kind of lackluster, to be honest. Now, we are only 8 air score away Yeah, we're still not gonna get it. Yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and put him back on automated exploration. Okay, there's a drought, but it's not affecting us, so who really cares? Ooh. Alright, so there's some more barbarians over there. Let's let Scythia deal with that and kind of head across the river. In the meantime, this guy can go ahead and take a promotion, and then we'll just keep exploring with him. Ooh, let's go after that scout if we can. I'll take him off automated exploration, just because killing 3 barbarians is actually the boost you need to get bronze working faster. So I'm hoping that this scout comes towards us and suicides into us before somebody else can grab him. In the meantime, let's get this camp up online. Oh, was I an I was an idiot. Shit, I didn't switch out of crap. I should have switched out of craftsmanship earlier since we were going to get the boost. I wasn't paying attention. It's one of the things when you're talking so much that it's easy to glance over and make small mistakes when you're playing. It can be quite frustrating, actually, because that is definitely an oversight. To play efficiently, what you would have wanted to do is switch into foreign trade once you got a decent way of the way in into craftsmanship, since we knew we were going to get that boost, and or that boost rather, and I knew that ahead of time, so that's just completely a screw up on my part. Meanwhile, let's take a look at our policy cards. I think we're going to keep them the same. I don't see any reason to switch into these yet. So yeah, we'll just keep on rolling here. Now we'll let our warrior heal up and let them deal with the barbarians over there. Ooh, there's archers too. So if there's archers, that definitely means that there's a camp to the west. Oh, that's a little bit nasty. Good thing there's not any tile improvements for it to fuck up. But, alright, sweet. So the scout did come towards us. We'll get another kill here. Now we're only one kill short, I believe. Or did we already get that? Am I just on glue or something? Oh, we did already kill it. What am I talking about? We've killed 2... Yeah, I'm special sometimes. Alright, so we got our Pantheon here. Let's hope that our little experiment here... Yeah, Fire Goddess is available, so let's go ahead and grab it. Now, this definitely isn't one that I take very often. Actually, this is only my second time I've ever tried it out. However, the other time it did work out well for me, and the plan worked. Like I said, you know, that the volcanoes became active, and it really did help us get a good golden age and have a lot of faith that we could use to buy builders and whatnot. Now, I guess time will tell. We'll find out sooner or later whether that was a complete mistake. But, I mean, if you don't experiment, you never know, right? So we're going to have to remember this. I definitely do not want to forget that. Let's just go ahead and kill the barbarian for some extras. Oh, I forgot about the archers. Let's hope that we can survive 2 shots from the archers. We do have a lot of health, so that might be possible. Alright, so we've found Frederick over here. Let's send him a delegation as well, so we stay on his good side. So everybody's quite far from us, which is nice. We have quite a lot of room here. We definitely want to get to producing settlers as quickly as we can here to start taking advantage of that fact. Now, our gold income has gone up quite a bit, so that's nice. We'll be at 440 pretty soon here, so nice. They sent a delegation to us, and that puts us over the 440 mark. Ooh, Jesus, that's rough. Alright, so before we forget, we're going to go ahead and purchase our settler here. Thank you. Now, oh, shit. And speaking of forgetting, I totally forgot to sell off our furs too, so let's go ahead and find out what the best deal we can get for that is. Now they have furs, so Philly's, we're shit out of luck as far as Philly concerned. Germany, they won't even give us 100 gold. That kind of sucks, so let's see if Thomas, I almost said see if Scythia, let's see if Thomas has some money back. Unfortunately not. Let's see what she would do. Gold per turn. She'll do 6 gold per turn. I'll take that. You know what? Let's see if she'll do 73 and 4. 3. Ah, fuck it. Oops. We'll just take the 6 and 3. Alright, good enough. Okie dokie. And if you're a beginner, in case you don't know, the reason we're selling these luxuries off is because, for one, we're not going to need luxuries immediately because we're going to have our Temple of Artemis here, which is going to give us amenities like crazy. However, even if we weren't going for this, we wouldn't need it right away because your cities don't even start to use amenities until you hit either 3 or 4 population. I think it might be 4. I'm not 100% positive on that. But either way, you don't need your amenities in the early game, so even if you only have 1 copy of a thing, it's better to sell it off for as much gold as you can get so that you can use that gold for other things in the early game to help you catch up to the enemies, because as you can see, we have a ways to go here as far as everything is concerned. We still gotta play quite a bit of catch up. Alright, so the drought over there is over, not that we really cared anyway, and we did get early empire, which is nice. So seeing as how we still have a ways to go, actually we will be getting that, what am I talking about? We will be getting that campus up pretty soon here, so I think what we will do is actually start going to work on state workforce right away, because I want to be able to get that government plaza up as soon as we possibly frickin' can here. Alright, so now we're gonna, I think we're just toast. I don't think, because yeah, this archer's still going to be able to see us. So unfortunately, RIP Mr. Warrior. Speaking of which, let's heal this guy up back to full health before we keep exploring. Fortunately, there was nothing we could do there. I completely spaced out and forgot about those archers when I moved over to go kill that warrior. So that definitely was a screw up on my part there. Now we could fit another city in here, which would actually have a really decent campus next to it. However, I think this option here is better for our first city, as it has a lot more production. Alright, so this guy's healed up. Let's go ahead and put him on automated exploration. We found another goodie hut. Now, I know I was talking about wasting air score and whatnot. However, there's no real there's no real point in saving this, because after the ancient era you do not get era score for finding goodie huts anyway. So realistically, I'm not worried about grabbing this at all, because it's the same thing if I wait until the era ends. Speaking of the era ending, okay, Germany's friendly with us as well. Let's go ahead and declare friendship with him. So now we only have to worry about early aggression from the Spanish, which is fine. I am so glad that I remembered that, though, because I was like, speaking of saving era score, and it just, whatever clicked in my brain fucking clicked, and I remembered the Temple of Artemis. So, that is perfect. Otherwise, well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't have been the end of the world, because I'm pretty sure we would have been able to grab an extra era score somewhere in the next 5 turns, because that would have gotten us 4, and then we get the 1 from the goodie hut here, and we'd only be 1 shy. However, we are going to switch out of that. I think we'll actually go ahead and start on a monument just to help increase our culture. Actually, you know what? I'm second guessing myself. I'm going to grab the granary. It's because I want the city to be able to grow as quickly as we can, so that we can get as many settlers as humanly possible coming out of here. Now, as far as where are we gonna put that? Sorry, I'm just trying to think as far as where we're gonna put our government plaza. Now, I guess we could do something like this. Throw the government plaza. It's just a shame to be getting. You know what? I'm just thinking about this now. We don't really need Zanzibar at all, because we can't. I was trying to think. Maybe put it in here so we can make these campuses better. However, hold on. 1, 2. Oh, it's a freaking mountain. 1, 2, 3. So hold on. Yeah, I could build it right there. Hold on. Campus. Hold on. Let's just make sure. 1, 2. Oh no. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Scratch that. It was a good idea if we would have been able to build a campus there. We could take over Zanzibar, build a campus in that tile, and then I was going to say shift the campus from here down to here and make this the government plaza, and then all the 3 campuses would get boosts. However, that is not going to work out for us. All right, so I did a little bit more thinking here, and I think what we are going to do is actually we're going to move our city square up 1 tile closer here. Now, then what we're going to do is we're going to actually build our government plaza here. So that'll make both of these theater squares will be +3 theater squares. And then what we'll do is just go ahead and throw in a campus right here. And this campus will actually become a +3 campus as well. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, screw that. Never mind. Forget campus. What we'll do is go ahead and put a commercial hub in there, and then we'll go ahead and build our campus right here on the jungle, because that will be a +3 campus automatically without having any adjacent districts beside it. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it even further, we'll go ahead and we'll make this. Oh shit, then we'd have to do that. Yeah, we'll go ahead and make this commercial hub, this city's commercial hub actually, and that way we'll just have to wait a little bit to fund the city first, but then that way we can go ahead and drop their commercial hub over here. Alright, good. So there we go. I think we came up with a half decent plan, and then we can, it still gives us 1 more spot later on that we can add in to get, add another district in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and grab the goodie hut. Nice. So we did find one of those relics, which is going to help us generate faith. So that's nice. It's an extra +4 faith. Not to mention, if we get in a real big pinch, we can always sell it off for a shit ton of gold, because all the different AIs will basically pay you almost anything for it. However, clearly for right now, we'll enjoy a little bit of extra faith. Hopefully these volcanoes get active sometime in the near future. That would be great. Meanwhile, we got 4 more turns left here to go until the era ends. Hopefully we don't get sniped. That was hanging gardens. My throat just jumped up or my heart just jumped up into my throat there for a minute. Meanwhile, I think we should probably just follow this coastline here and see what kind of territory we have for settling down to the south. We've gotten Righton, so we can switch into the campus here in the capital as soon as we can. Actually, as soon as we can, let's go ahead and lock in that campus district right now. It's only +2 campus for right now, but once we get the once we get the adjacent commercial hub and complete the district triangle, this will jump up to a +3 campus. Now, in case you don't know, it is very, very important to try and get +3 at least on all of your campuses when you're playing science, if you can anyways. I mean, if there's the odd city that you can't manage to get a +3 campus, so be it, but you really, really, really want to get aim for 3 or above, and that's because there's a lot of policy cards farther in the game that a lot of policy cards that there is, but there's one specific. I'll actually go find it right now just to explain it, or to show it as I'm explaining it here. Wait, what am I talking about? It's a fucking policy. It's in civics. Yeah, so we're going to definitely be headed towards the Enlightenment fairly quickly in a science game. And the policy card I was talking about, that is really why it's really important to have at least 3 science adjacency in all your campuses if you can, is because of this. Extra science from buildings and campuses, plus 50% if the city population is 10 or higher, and another 50% if the district has at least 3 adjacency bonuses. So essentially, if you can get your cities to 10 population or higher and they have a 3 adjacency, it's going to increase your science from that city by 100%. Oh, sorry, not the science from the total city, but the science from the building. So from all your libraries and districts, etc., or your libraries and universities, etc., etc. So that is why you always want to shoot for 3 or higher if possible, because it really adds up in the late game. Now, speaking of which, let's take a look and see the great people, who the first great scientists. Ooh, it's Hypotha too. Shit. So there's in all in case you don't know and you are a newer player, in all of the different great peoples, whether it's great generals, great prophets, great science, well, actually, no, not great prophet, that doesn't matter, but great scientist, writer, blah, 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 there's ones that are good and ones that are shitty. Hypotha is actually, I think I'm pronouncing that right, or Hypatia? I don't fucking know. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say, you can see it on the screen, but there's certain ones that are better than others, and he or she happens to be one. Let's take a look here just so I can know for future. Daughter of a mathematician. Okay, so she, now we have the correct pronouns. She is a great one, especially nice and early libraries, providing +1 science, and also instantly builds a library in the district. That is a nice pickup early. However, it doesn't look like we're going to get to her unless we can really speed things up, as there's already somebody. Scythia's earning 2 science points. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to be able to grab her, because we went for the wonder early and it's a little bit of a setback, but you can't get them all the time. However, it would have been nice to grab her, obviously. Anywho, let's just keep rolling here. So we have finished writing now. Let's take a look and see where we want to go. I'm just taking a look to make sure, see what I have to clear in order to get the districts we have planned up. So we already have mining, so we can get that up whenever we want it. Essentially, there's only the 2 districts here that we have to clear jungle for, so there's no real hurry to get bronze working. What about up here in the north? No, it's all pretty much good up there. Yeah, so I think what we will end up doing then is just head towards currency. Actually, I'm going to backpedal. Let's grab bronze working first, just so that we can clear those tiles whenever we want. Not to mention, revealing iron on the map is always nice, as it will allow us to trade off the iron if we aren't using it, as well as get some extra production too, if possible. So we'll go ahead and settle our city here. And again, we're going to start with a monument in this city. Actually, we have enough cash. What we will do first, like, we are going to work on the monument, but we're going to buy the tile here and drop their campus down. Ooh, actually, wait a second. I take that back. Yeah, we're not... Yeah, never mind. We're not going to build the campus there. It's only a +2 campus, and after everything I was talking about there, we definitely don't want to do that. I mean, I'm sure we could get another district in there eventually, but I'd rather build a mine there anyway. Now, this one, however, yeah, I'd rather buy this, and I'm just going to override the copper. I mean, I would like to harvest it for some extra cash, but realistically, I think in this case, it's more important to lock down the price of the district. Just in case you don't know, the prices go up with every they go up with every technology, every civic you get, as well as you progress farther into the game as far as ages go and whatnot. So locking in that price is good, even though we're not going to build it. Now let's take a look at this city here. As far as their campuses go, I think it just obviously makes sense. We'll go with a nice and easy one. We'll drop it down right here. And now that we've locked that in though, however, I'm going to switch. Actually, that should work out fairly well. Yeah, never mind. We're switching out of stake workforce here, and we're going to get foreign trade. And the reason we're switching into this is because we want to change our policy cards and get the Ilcum slot in them, which gives us plus 30% production towards builders. So for now, we will work a few turns on the campus there. Jesus. Wow, I need to shake my head there.
If you want to get good at Civ 6, subscribe and click the bell to keep up with the channel.
And sweet, we just saw our volcano has started smoking. So that is definitely good news for us. Now, however, one thing that we want to do too, because the volcano is smoking, we ideally in a perfect world would like to chop this forest tile before it erupts. Otherwise, when it erupts, it will destroy the forest tile and you won't be able to ever get that production back. So that's definitely something that we want to be cognizant of. However, I just don't think that's a point in putting 4 turns towards the builder without the card in. I'd rather do it this way. Alright, so we'll go ahead and put our warrior back on automated exploration here. We've entered the classical era. Our Temple of Artemis hasn't been sniped, so we definitely want to fucking finish that before we forget anything else. We'll switch back into that. But now I think this is a perfect place to put a cut in the video. I don't want this to get any longer, so if you have been enjoying yourself, please do me a favor, throw a like on the video, or better yet, if you want to support the channel even more, comment down below. I don't care, call me an asshole, it doesn't matter. Either one of those things or both help the channel grow, and I could use all the help I can get because I am such a small channel. But anywho, I'm going to shut up and I'll just see you in the next video.